Hi there, Cancer. Welcome to your extended monthly forecast for the month of September 2018. We're looking at a 6-card tarot spread for you for September. We're looking at general messages for you. So when shuffling, thinking about this, I will be asking, what does Cancer need to know? Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Cancer Rising signs. What do we need to know for the month of September 2018? That was a very big burst right out of my heart, so I'm going to stop there. I will be using bottom of the deck energy in addition to the 6 cards. Just a little idea of what you can expect energetically for the month. Look at this gorgeous card. You're the boss, Cancer. That's the Emperor. Really beautiful major arcana card. If you're not the boss, you could be dealing with boss energy or being in charge of something or, being in authority. This is really simply the card of authority. You're very authoritative over something or someone. Hopefully this is yourself. It's always wise to have personal authority, and then really that just creates very healthy boundaries and environments, and then people behave accordingly. So you actually don't have to enforce anything, and you don't have to authorize anything. Just by virtue of you being self-managed and self-controlled and self-directed, your environment will play into that. So gorgeous energy to see this for you for the month of September, my Cancer Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So and if you have been developing a business or have been looking into becoming a boss or becoming a leader or an authority in something, I think it'll find its way to you, at least by the end of the month of September for you. Very, very interesting. We have we do have a queen here. This is our only major arcana. Out of the 6 cards for the spread, though, we do only have one individual or court card here. The rest is 5 and under, I am actually happy to say. So anything that could be difficult is easily overcome. Really, major arcanas override lower influence cards, such as anything under a 7, in my view, in all of the elements, which is clearly what's happening here. You have this gorgeous court card here, which is the Queen of Wands. I mean, again, there's entrepreneurial energy here as well. So if you haven't already opened your own business, you could very well be doing that. And if you have already opened it, you could be having to take a more expansive view of this, Cancer. I think you could really, upgrade or up your level or increase your business flow or your income or your element of authority here. But you've already been on track to do this. I do think it is within you. I just think it's almost like make it priority, if that's the case. If this has to do with anything other than a business, you are in a position of authority here, a position of being the boss, leadership. You're quite comfortable doing that. If that's the case and it's not about your own business or it's not about business of any sort, if this is a personal issue or even a romance or something having to do with family or travel or school, I think you need to remember that you're in the driver's seat and don't let anyone else take that steering wheel from you. It's going to be minor. It is saying take a rest, which is the advice here. You're not going to get exactly what you wanted, but I think this is going to, just for the month, either emotionally or even financially. But again, I think this is because you're already in this mindset of the entrepreneur, it's just going to kind of in a really gentle, kind way, when all is said and done, force you to take action in a more respectfully aggressive position. And I just mean by that, by doing things with integrity, however you plan to move forward here. As long as you're doing that with integrity and with the highest vibration, I think that this will all work out beautifully for you. But it will take till the end of the month for you to recognize what it is that you truly feel and believe about your entrepreneurial spirit here, or your spirit of leadership, or even just being the boss or being the authority. Not a lot of complicated energy here. I'm going to get right into what each card means in its position. So the circumstance surrounding you is an offering that you aren't accepting for some reason. You've had a little celebration. There's a reason for celebration here, but the situation is that there's something being offered to you that you're not seeing, or you're refusing to see, or you're not recognizing it for what it truly is. It could be your own talents. This is a card of emotion here. We do have 2 cup cards here. And then it is you for the month of September is, emotional disappointment. So, and I just don't see this coming outside of you. I mean, there's 2 cards of authority here. I do see this something happening personally within you. So it's something to contemplate for the month of September for my Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. But the situation is there's something being offered to you that you're just not taking. On an emotional front here, and I think it could be something as simple as letting yourself down. I didn't expect myself to say that. I think you just could be letting yourself down. You're not fulfilling obligations you had already set in motion. So please remember, for example, that this card, being the entrepreneur here, very, very lively, expressive, generous, fiery person, very opinionated, very adventurous. This actually precedes these 2 cards when it comes to chronological meaning here. So this actually precedes. So you were really on track here. You were really going for gold. You had perhaps a lot of things put in place already, but you're disappointed. And again, I'm going to suggest that unless you have a partner in business or crime, as it were, who is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, I'm going to suggest that this is happening internal to you and it's not. Otherwise, this should be representing you this month, in my view, the energy, or you could have fire, sun, moon, rising if you're cross-watching in your own chart. But I think you're just disappointing yourself. I truly believe that's what's going on here. It could be expectations were too high. You didn't, the excitement got the better of you. You didn't put the details into place. Maybe you're just behind on schedule, and it's emotionally affecting you. The reason why I don't see this to be overwhelming or damaging or even lasting is, as I said at the very start, all of these cards, sans the court card here, are under 7. And this is just incredibly quick moving, very easy to overthrow or overcome, energetically speaking. So I think it's just a matter of making up your mind about what you really want. I did talk about the Queen of Wands here. As I said, if you're working with a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or if this is in the first 5 planets of your own chart, including your rising sign, this could be an individual, right? Otherwise, this is, energetically speaking, a very passionate, go for gold, entrepreneurial person, mature, quite mature, educated, passionate, independent, very much related to the Emperor here, I do believe, energetically speaking. So it's almost like maybe you just need to revisit something, or revisit the way you feel about something, or, with this 5 of Wands in the present, which is, there's a little bit of conflict with what you're doing, right? Because the Wands are fire on these cards. The Wands are activity. What are you doing here with the 5? There's conflict. You're not convinced of something. Something needs a shake-up. And because this is so much involved with the way you conduct yourself, listen, this could be in business, love, romance, school, any one of those things, depending on who's watching. But if this is about an entrepreneurial project or work or finance, for example, you got to switch things up here. The way that you work and the way that you work, designate your work or design it. So this is this does add an element of conflict, but the beautiful thing is that, a victory follows this. So just get your ducks in a row here, and it falls under the 4 of Cups. So I think it's really, you're not seeing something coming in. You're not seeing something that's right in front of you. But at the same time, I feel very strongly that you do see it. You just don't know what to do with it. And this is saying, listen, you've got to pay attention to that, and now you're going to do something with it. That's what I'm seeing there. And the card representing, of course, your future is, it's kind of like the miser card, but it's also like protection. You're protecting something. You're protecting an investment. You've already started something here, right? You've invested in something, but it's early in the game. You can still switch things up. You can revise things without things falling apart or having to start from scratch. Okay? So the future is saying you're protecting an investment, protect something, but keep going, right? You want to get to the 10 of Pentacles here, ideally, like we all do. So keep going in this direction. Keep going through the 5, which is feeling rejected or having a difficult time. The 6, which is a fair give and take. You know, the 7, which is I'm going to assess how far I've come and what I really need to do and be to have the future I really want. The 8, which is I'm working really hard. I'm not going to take no for an answer. The 9, which is independent wealth. And then the 10, which is absolute pure prosperity for you and your friends and family. So this is where you want to go. This is where you want it to lead. So the future is keep going. Don't give up. You know, protect what you've already built here and keep going with the highest intentions. And then your advice card is the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords is just really saying take a rest. Take a rest on something here. Really acknowledge that you need to take a step back. This is an air card, of course. I mean, we are looking at air energy. It does fall under the Queen of Wands as well. I do want to back up for a tiny second and talk about the 4 of Earth under the 5 of Cups. Yeah, the dissatisfaction could feel like a loss. It could feel like you're clinging. I think what you could do is say, I'm going to let that go. Instead of saying it's a loss or it was taken from you or dissatisfaction, you know, choose to let that go. Be okay with that. Let that go with love. You know, walk away and then say, okay, but I have this left and I'm going to work with this. And then this could be around technology as well. So if this has anything to do with, you know, entrepreneurial spirit of any sort here around technology or the mind or beliefs and ideas, it's just about start slow or take a break. You could even benefit from making a new list of to-dos, a new list of what you want to see, a new avenue to take. It could be also, if you were to just contemplate this for a little bit, maybe don't hurry, don't rush. It could be that you find that you're protecting what already exists here, and that's okay. But you can add to it. It's almost like there's more than just this one thing. Or you can introduce something else. Or you can do something altogether different. But take the month of September to assess where you are. To assess particularly what you're in the middle of protecting. And then decide, like, is this what a person in authority and an entrepreneurial spirit does? You know, are they insecure and dissatisfied and interested in protecting small gains and, you know, etc.? I would say no. You know, you're going to want to reach for that higher vibration. Maybe some of this has to do with the way that you perceive yourself. Perceiving yourself, Cancer, as the boss or authority of your own life. That, you know, that driver's seat, right? You're in that driver's seat. We did have 2 come out of that deck. I'll use them. Forgiving and learning and playfulness. So yeah, the romance angels obviously are 5th house ruled. Leo ruled. This is creativity, children, sex and creative projects. Any one of those things, just energetically speaking. So playfulness is always important no matter what you're doing. To recapture romance or creativity. Anytime we see romance, you can always interchange that with creativity. Allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Listen, this is what it's missing. That's what's missing. Maybe you got yourself so involved in the business or the authoritative aspect of it or the entrepreneurial spirit of it that it's difficult to have fun with it, or you've become serious. about it. I mean, the Four is a real kind of like stick in the Four of Pentacles is a little bit stick in the mud, I'll admit, right? It's a little bit like you're just clinging. It's almost like you're unsure, or there's lack of faith there. But, you know, just have faith in your abilities here. Take a step back from what you've been doing. Maybe do some imagination work. Think big here. Think big and long term. And get out of your own way would be another way to look at that too. But playfulness is really important. And of course, if this has to do with romance, just remember what it's like to have fun. You know, don't live in the future. Don't live in the past. You know, using that driver analogy again. You just want to stay in your lane and stay on that road looking forward. Don't let anyone else take that wheel from your hands. Forgiving and learning, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. This is true for any of us, for any purpose, to be honest. Releasing and healing. Yeah, I think this just is old, outdated energy. I do believe some of this, at least, is self-perception, the way you think and believe about yourself, the way that you feel about yourself. I do think, now that I'm looking at all this together, and it's just occurred to me that you could feel that you're undeserving. There could even be some unspoken or unintended fear here that it hasn't been addressed, which could involve a success. Just throwing that out there. I mean, this is like the height of success, okay? There could be some element around fear of success. This is something you're going to have to work through your own heart and mind about, Cancer, because these should all be either, you know, aces, tens, or court cards, or major arcana, like the total fulfillment of this type of entrepreneurial energy mixed with the boss, authority, leader, expert energy. You're not pulling your own weight. That literally came out of my mouth and I didn't even think about it. You need to up your own ante, okay? You need to supply the emotional, physical, and financial input in order for you to fulfill your entrepreneurial obligations or your passion, okay? If it's not a business, fine. But whatever you consider a passion, that it's almost like your passion precedes you. Like, this is how people think about you. This is even how you think about yourself, right? It's your heart. It's the heart of the matter. It's the essence. So I just think that you're... I don't know how to say this nicely. Trying in the kindest way to say you need to fix what you already know is broken and get to the root of it and stop selling yourself short. Okay, I'm moving on. But forgiving and learning is a big part of that, okay? It really is. Forgiving yourself for not wanting enough for yourself to make moves in that direction. And love, if you interchange love with prosperity or creativity, as it were, you know, you really need to understand and believe and know in your heart and work physically toward achieving. Like, really understand that you deserve this, that you deserve the success, and all positive things come to you because of that. There could be a fear, okay? There could be a fear, aka also known as a lack of understanding that you will get to keep what's most important to you. And I think that could be an underlying fear for you. Giveaway is your other message here from the Oracle. Turkey is giveaway, okay? Sacrifice may need to be given. It could be your ego. It never even occurred to me until now before seeing that. It could be the way that you perceive yourself and that you want to be seen. That it's almost like you can please everybody, but you'll be miserable type thing. Like, just don't work from that vantage point. Work from the vantage point of integrity and truth and love and beauty. And then all things will fall into place. It's almost like overthinking, overplanning and overthinking could serve to undo the process. But by doing, by just moving in that direction and making a choice and moving to your highest potential here. You know, as the advice card, it's almost like you have to decide, are you willing to take the next stage in that calculated risk that you've already made, for example. It's almost like just being true to yourself. Like, do you have the courage and the strength to be true to yourself for who you really are, come what may? Essentially, come what may. And I think you have it. And it's almost like you just need to believe it. Maybe you needed to hear this. And I hope that's the case. And I hope that you do serve yourself by getting out of your own way and choosing that level of success. With giveaway, giving away old concepts of yourself, giving up old beliefs about yourselves, feelings that you aren't good enough or can't have, or whatever you're convincing yourself of. You got to give that up. You got to give that away. Make that the sacrifice. Sacrifice needless and useless beliefs and ideas and feelings about yourself. You're poised. Cancer, you do have everything you need right now to move forward. I know for some reason you feel like it's lacking, or it won't be right, or there's disappointment. But you are poised for exactly the kind of success that you want and that you deserve right now. If you do feel unbalanced, or that you don't know what it is you're supposed to do next, or you're not convinced, or you're unsure, go back into this energy. Go back into the Queen of Wands, where you are very fiery, very self-possessed, independent, passionate. When you go to that space in your heart, when you're quiet, or when you think about yourself from through that lens, what does that person want? What does that person have to offer and have to achieve, and et cetera, et cetera? I think it'll be very inspiring if you work from that vantage point as well. And the intention, 100% intention is critical right now. What are you intending? What are you spending, the most mental time working through? Emotional time working through? What do you expect? What do you expect to happen? What are your intentions? Are they pure? What messages are you telling yourself and others? Or if you're saying something on repeat, or if you feel something on repeat, or you feel you're not ready, or you're not willing to act toward fruitfulness, or to resolving an issue, if you're protecting something you've already built, possibly your own body, possibly your own financial situation, if you need a period of rest right now mentally, I think it would be really wise for you to get back in touch. Perhaps you've just been taken off track or been distracted, right? It happens to the best of us here. But particularly around, a long-term or entrepreneurial boss, authority, that type of issue. It could just be over yourself. If this is a romance issue, it could be just that, your authority over your own life. You're in the driver's seat. Don't give that power away. What are your intentions for yourself? Right? And then if you are in the midst of a relationship or dating or a new level of a relationship or commitment, what are your intentions? And then make those very clear. No mixed messages this month, Cancer, for you or anyone else. Really decide what those intentions are, because really that's vibration. And you can say or do anything sans intention, and it's going to fall flat. But if you do and say something with intention, for better or for worse, that's going to materialize. So just be very aware of what your intentions are, where your directive energy is focused. Look at what's right in front of you and take it by the horns. Switch up some behavior here that will help you allow more love and compassion and emotional generosity in your life. This is a combative card. However, if you don't want to get closer to someone, or you find someone's trying to peek in or take authority from you, for example, this combative card really could be you protecting yourself from something that you need to rest on or take a break from. If that's the case, be honest with yourself about that. And if there's another person involved in that scenario, be honest with them about that. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be rude, but you do have to tell the truth. And you do have to put yourself first, no matter what. So what are your intentions for yourself and for the situation? What are you willing to give up in order to get what you really want? Are you willing to forgive and learn, to move away from the past, to release that with love? You can make peace with that, and you can move on to more prosperous and loving experiences. Playfulness is key for you this month. I do think that there's going to be some revision that needs to be met here in order for you to be personally satisfied. So try to stay playful. Try to be thankful and be grateful here as well. I do think this is all going to work out itself out in a really quick manner, however. So I would pay attention to this primarily overall right now. What are your intentions? Because this is gonna, all these little 5s and 4s, these are gonna work themselves out super fast. Yes, I'm snapping my fingers. Super fast. You make a decision, that's fixed. Make a decision, that's fixed. Make a decision, it's all gonna be fixed. But you have to understand how much power, personal power you have here to help yourself. And I think you have to get to the root of your own passion to figure out how incredibly strong you already are. Okay? So that is your reading for the month. I'm so excited for you to overcome any difficulties or situation here where you've been sort of lagging or putting yourself or the manifestation of your dreams second. Let's just follow through with that. 2018 is almost over, Cancer. You know, really follow through with those dreams and goals and aspirations for yourself. Listen, find that passion, recognize what it is, and then go for it. Go for it. The world needs that from you right now. And you need that because you could be meeting with some elements of depression as well. There could be some elements of disappointment, right? You know, you don't want to be emotionally overwhelmed or emotionally disappointed here just because you're not following through with your intentions, or you're holding yourself back for some reason because maybe your beliefs about yourself or your self-perception is, skewed. No, the world is waiting for you to figure this out. You got to do this. You got to do this. This is not only personal healing, but it's, healing on a mass scale, on an energetic scale. So, leave comments below. If you have a minute, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. If you have links to share, I'm always interested in learning what you know that I don't. If there's any way I can help you by sharing links, let me know what you're looking for. Subscribe to my channel. That really helps me out a lot. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos as well. That helps me out a lot. And I love doing this work for you. So I truly and deeply hope that this is helpful to you. So Cancer, please take excellent care of yourselves until I see you again in a couple of weeks. Bye for now.